Interesting. I had no idea. That's awesome. Okay, so we shall see. I will wait a few minutes for everybody to come on, and we will go from there. Wow, that was very fascinating. You know, it's interesting when you realize that things, when they happen around you, should not inhibit you from being able to express or experience it. Nothing at all? I'll check. Let's see here. Patricia. Hi, Patricia. There you are. Okay, wonderful. Yes. Hi, Bezalel. How are you, Robin? Wonderful to see you. So yeah, it's thank you so much, everybody, for coming on live. I have no idea why this why it had a problem, but we are here, and this is a perfect example of what the whole subject of today was. How can you be certain you are awakening? And we'll go back over this again so that you understand how to know the process. How do you know when you are awakening? This is so important. And again, when they came to me, they said, this is not a question, this is a statement. They emphasized that this is a statement. How can you be certain you are awakening? Let's see, I think we're good here now. Yeah, I saw you guys having the chat there. It was wonderful to watch all the information. And thank you for sending all that love. And I absolutely was not stressing. That is one of the things that is a sign that you are awakening. And how can you be certain you're awakening? Because things don't affect you in a way that causes you to go into fear or uncertainty or guilt or shame or any of that. None of that energy happens. And one of the things I was talking about was when I first began to awaken, because it's important to know what are the signs and symptoms that you are awakening. And for me, that process began when I was age 20. And I was sitting in a coffee shop and I was reading a book. And what blew my mind is at that point in my life, I mean, I was not very happy with who I was. I would walk with my head down all the time. You know, I literally for 5 years, I'd literally walk with my head down 90% of the time because I had all of these thoughts, all of these emotions inside that made me feel that I wasn't good enough. I couldn't do anything right. I had no value. And I'm reading this book that suddenly communicates this idea to me that I can choose my thoughts. And I had, at that point, I'd never realized that I could choose my thoughts. I thought my thoughts were just who I was, and that the emotions I were feeling were who I was. But when I suddenly, in that moment, when I realized, wait a minute, I don't have to think these thoughts. I can think different thoughts. And that's the first sign that you can know and be certain that you're awakening, that you become aware of your thoughts. You start to become aware of your thoughts. You're recognizing that your awareness, your I, that which you are, who you are, the I that is you, your eye opens. Your eye opens when you become aware of your thoughts and you realize the thoughts are not who I am. The thoughts are information stored in the body. And that for me was the most, I cannot describe the sensation I felt when I realized I don't have to think these thoughts anymore. I don't have to believe these thoughts anymore. That's not who I am. And I suddenly began to change my thoughts. I suddenly said, well, instead of thinking I'm not good enough, I can start thinking I'm a loving and lovable person. It was one of the very first positive thoughts I ever thought about myself, for myself, was I'm a loving and lovable person. And just that thought, that one thought consciously chosen, created this massive change in my body immediately. There was just a sense of euphoria literally filled my body. And that was 40 years ago when I was 20. And suddenly I realized, wow, I can choose my thoughts. I didn't know that I was the awareness choosing my thoughts. I was just aware that I could choose my thoughts. I hadn't made this distinction in this awareness that I know I am that I am now. But I began that process. The first process is to become aware of your thoughts. When you're starting to be aware of your thoughts, that's step one. You start to become aware that your thoughts are not who you are. They're just information in your mind. The second part of the process of knowing that you are awakening is you suddenly realize your emotions are not who you are, and they are related to the types of thoughts that you have going on in your mind. That's the second step. You suddenly become aware, well, these feelings are connected to some of these thoughts. And if I change some of these thoughts, then some of these feelings change. But there's a deeper layer to this we're going to go into in a few moments, another part of the process. So those are the first two things to know you are waking. You're aware of your thoughts, and you can choose them, you can refuse them, you can edit them, you can delete them. And then the second thing is becoming aware that you can change your emotional energy. Is the second step. You become aware you can change your emotional energy. And there's two ways you can do that. You can change your emotional energy with your thoughts, but you can also change your emotional energy. And this blew my mind when I understood this one. You can change your emotions by how you interact with them as an awareness. You can change your emotion by how you interact with them as an awareness. And for me, the thought that I was loving and lovable immediately created this euphoric feeling of I am good, right? And from that perspective, I began to alter things. But you can interact with them. Again, I learned this more recently than that, but that emotions are your energy in motion. And the minute you begin to interact with the emotional energy differently, you don't have to know the thoughts that are connected with them. You don't have to know which lifetime that intense depression or that deep anxiety, you don't have to know where it originated. You just have to alter the way with your awareness as the I am awake, I'm aware. You as an awareness, how you interact with that energy. And if you think of your emotional energy as water, right? And sometimes the water is boiling, you got all this stuff going on. Well, with your awareness, you can change the temperature of the emotion. You can lower the intensity of the emotion down using a very simple statement. And this statement, if you think it internally or speak it out loud, you want to do this, speak this, you can do this right now. You want to think the thought, we're going to give you a thought to think, and there's going to be a quality of sincerity that you're going to add to this thought. And the decision that you make to interact with a specific emotional quality, whether it's anxiety or depression or anger or rage or guilt or shame, the way in which you interact with that energy will determine the way in which it will alter and change and transform, how you will alter, change, and transform it, because it is only you that can do this. You can allow the outside world to do this for you. Most people do. But you want to become the designer of your creative expression. So you can take right now any negative emotion that you find you're most dominantly dealing with and recall that energy to your awareness right now. And then turn to that energy and think the following thought with an internal tone of voice or an external tone of voice that sounds like you really mean it. And the thought is this: no matter what I've thought or felt or believed about you, I'm willing to love you, even if I do not understand you. And you communicate that thought to that negative emotional energy. And that process is the next step in awakening, where you begin to now organize and transform your internal energy matrix, which is emotion. Your emotion is your energy in motion. All your emotions cause all your behaviors. And the minute you start to take control of your emotional energy, you start to take control of the way you manifest yourself in this physical dimension. So that statement, thought or spoken into a negative emotional energy, and we recommend you call one forth now into your awareness. Call forth an emotion you remember or emotion you are familiar with that bothers you. Call it into your awareness. Sense where you have it localized in your body. This emotion may be from this lifetime, but it may be from other lifetimes. It does not matter. How you interact with it energetically is what matters. And the statement, no matter what I've thought or felt or believed about you, I'm willing to love you even if I do not understand you. That very statement, spoken sincerely, thought sincerely into that emotional energy, will cause it to change. That vibration, that tone of sincerity, that tone of caring is a vibration that you're transmitting into an existing emotional energy. And you can think of that emotional energy as this glass of water, and we're transmitting a vibration in the water. We'll use the vibration of the refrigerator, freezer, and we transmit that vibration by putting this into the freezer. And your awareness is the transmitter of a vibration. So when you're directing that intensity, no matter what I've thought or felt or believed about you, I'm willing to love you, even if I do not understand you. You're communicating a vibration into that emotional energy. And like the freezer affects the water to freeze, the vibration of your compassion, your caring, will alter the vibration of that emotion. Now, some of you may need to stay with that process longer than others in the beginning. If it's an extremely intense emotion that you've been carrying for many lifetimes, or an intense emotion from this lifetime, the more you may have to sit with that energy and repeatedly communicate to it, I'm willing to love you, even if I do not understand you. It's like those, especially those negative emotions, are like an animal that's been wounded and hurt, and you need to give it enough energy to transform. You need to continue loving it until the energy begins to transform. For many of you, this happens very quickly because of the connection we all have with our teams right now, our guides and our angels that are facilitating this transformation as individuals and as a global collective. So we're doing all of this at once. So the minute you interact with that statement, no matter what I've thought or felt or believed about you, I'm willing to love you, even if I do not understand you. And the deeper you go into that vibration of transmitting that vibration, because you're doing this with your eye open, you are doing this consciously, which means your eye is open. When you're doing something consciously, your eye is open. I am open. You want to understand this. So your ability to repeatedly direct this energy with greater intensity and greater meaning will alter and change the matrix of the emotion that's stored in your biology. And this biological entity has a lot of emotion stored in it from many lifetimes for some of you, and for some not so much. But the goal here is to entrain yourself to know that you are awakening. The minute you are able to transform thought and emotion, you are awakening. Then you begin the process of recreating your mind and your body into the image and likeness of that which you have elected to be in this physical dimension. You get to change your mind and body to be in the image and likeness of that which you are in this physical dimension. It talks about, and God made man in his image and likeness. In the image and likeness of himself made he them. So you are making this system, all these thoughts, all these emotions, into a new self, into the image and likeness of that which you wish to be expressing as in this dimension. That can be love, that can be joy, it can be anything. You can express your being as anything in this dimension. Look on the world, you can see many expressions. But you have the choice to choose when you are aware, when your eye is open, when you are conscious, consciously changing your thought, consciously altering the emotional energy, and deliberately creating new vibrational potentials to manifest in this physical dimension. Yes, so be patient. For some of you, please be more patient. We understand that some of you have a greater intensity of negative emotion, but the process is identical. It will take a certain amount of time to freeze this water. It will take more time to freeze this water. But if you keep that process going, doesn't matter how much water there is or how little water there is, the process will work. The more you extend the vibration and frequency of love into the emotions that you have been so desperately trying to get away from, the more you establish a vibration of love into them, the sooner you will transform that emotional energy into a new expression of your energy, into the image and likeness of that which you wish it to be. So be patient. For some of you have a very big jug of water. Some of you might have 2 or 3 jugs of water. And some of you might just have a little bit. And then when you change the frequency of the emotion, you can drink it like manna. You then change the energy of that emotion. So it serves you now instead of operating against you. In truth, nothing can operate against you unless you allow it. I want to thank everybody who's come back on to live. Again, I apologize. I realized for some reason there was a reset, and it doesn't matter. It was all perfect. And I love how this works. When things happen around you and within you, you always have a choice about how you're going to respond. And I could see the conversations going, and I could see why is it not showing the number of people. And again, when you move into the flow with your guides and your angels, when you move into the flow of the spirit, there is no analysis. It does not get attached to whether the camera's working or that's working. It doesn't do that. It just flows. And when you start to realize that you have nothing but gratitude, and when things happen differently than what you expect, you stay in a place of gratitude, and you just keep moving forward from that place of gratitude. It's really important. And I want to thank everybody who sent us love and appreciation and respect. We felt that, and we will address your concerns in a few moments. But remember, those of you that also requested how to donate onto this page here, beside the comments box, there is a little $sign. You can click on there. There's also a little sticker symbol that you can also send a sticker, but it'll prioritize your question. we do our best to answer as many questions as we can in the allotted time frame that we have. Also, you can also alternatively become a member of our Patreon page, which will be in the description box at the bottom of the video. And in our Patreon page, we have a once a month live event for Patreons only, where we've had our first one this earlier this month. We're gonna have a second one next. We also have a reading giveaway. So you're gonna have a reading with myself and my guides and my angels and yours, and you could be entered into the draw for that. As well, you get to ask one question a month as a Patreon member of mine. Very exciting times we are in right now. Transmuting emotions. Yes, Kira, I am totally okay. More than you can imagine. Every time something changes, I know it's an opportunity for me to transform my consciousness, to renew this. Remember, this is most of this has been living in the past, but I've learned to train with the help of my guides and angels. I've learned to entrain my body and mind into the present moment. So when things change or transform, it doesn't mean something bad is happening. And I'm not scared. I'm not frustrated. I just go, this is really cool. I wonder what's going to happen next, right? And you get excited about what possibilities will unfold from that event. Very fascinating. But thank you. I really appreciate your concern. Hi, Patricia, Janine, Lori. Yes, and it was really great. Really great that you guys took the time to continue chatting and keep the ball rolling. Because if you hadn't done that, I would have gone through the whole period of time with them without realizing what had happened until somebody said something. When somebody said, "I hope William's okay. He's probably stressing." No, William was not stressing. William was in the bliss of being with his angels and guides and communicating a message of great importance to my fellow souls, my fellow eyes. So how can you be certain you are awakening? One, you start to become aware of your thoughts. You start to be able to change your thoughts. Two, you begin to organize, transform, and change your emotional energy. You begin to become a transformer of your emotions. You no longer become subjective to them. And three, your eye is open. You are aware that you can transform and change emotional energy at will, anytime, anywhere. And the fourth step is knowing that you are the emotional vibrational frequency you're in is organizing all of the conditions in your life at any given moment. At any given moment. Let's see. Wow, the energy is so high in here today. I'm glad everybody made it back. They're fried. Okay, I'm just going to scroll down and see if we got any questions. So any questions on how you can be certain you are awakening? Because if you're not able to control your thoughts, you're not awake. You're still asleep. If you feel like your thoughts are what define you, then you're connected to being just the body mind. You're asleep in the clay. You're asleep you're lost in matter. If you think your emotions are more potent and powerful than your awareness, then you're not awake. But the minute you start to become aware that your thoughts and emotions, that you're aware of them, that's when you're in the position to begin the process of rebuilding the temple into the image and likeness of that which you are, which is pure love. All of you, in truth, are pure love in your essential nature, and limitless at that, limitless in that potential as well. No matter what I thought or felt or believed, you want to add the D on the end, Oliver. You want to add a D on the end. No matter what I thought or felt or believed about you, I'm willing to love you, even if I don't understand you. Very important. You want to say believe, because most of the emotions you're dealing with are not from your present. In the present moment, you are perfect. In this moment, all of you are absolutely crystal clear, divine beings of perfection. It is the past that we're trying to transform, the past energies that are stored in the system that you are in the process now of transforming. And this is what the awakening is. This is part of what the ascension is, the transformation of the self from being just a body mind to being the spiritual being that's here to bring forth this new manifestation of human expression. And there are many other facets to it too, and we get into identifying some of those in our courses and classes. But that statement, believe, no matter what I've thought or felt or believed, because you're referring to, you're telling those past emotions that you believed that about them before, so you're speaking truth. No matter what I've thought or felt, no matter what I've thought or felt or believed about you, I'm willing to love you, even if I don't understand you, because you're being truthful again. When you say, I don't understand you, there was a point you did not understand why those emotions were that way. So you want to be truthful with that part of those aspects. They'll feel the truth. Your emotional energy is intelligent. is an aspect of your intelligence, right? So learning how to transform it is very important. So the structure of that phrase is very important. No matter what I've thought or felt or believed about you, I'm willing to love you even if I do not understand you. It's important. Yes. That you use and go deeply into the sincerity of that communication to those emotions, no matter how dark or how intense your emotions might be. It's just a difference in degree and intensity. Some people don't have so much, they got a little bit. Some people have a lot of emotion to deal with. So the degree and intensity to make this turn into ice, and the degree and intensity to turn this into ice, one will freeze faster than the other because of the sheer volume. So the time frame that it will take to transform a high intensity emotion from negative to positive will be a little different than changing an emotion of a lower intensity vibration. But the process is universal. You can increase and amplify. You can increase and amplify. And this is a really exciting thing they taught me. You can increase and amplify the time and shorten the time it takes to transform even the most intense emotions with a greater intensity of sincerity. If you can get into that feeling of love, no matter what I've thought or felt or believed about you, I love you, even if I do not understand you. And you get more deeply into that, more intensely into that, you're increasing that. So it'd be like instead of putting this in the freezer, you put it inside liquid nitrogen, which freezes almost instantly, which is what Master Jesus often talks about. He says, you shall declare a thing and it shall be done unto you. So you can literally turn to that energy and communicate such an intensity of love to that negative emotion that just literally transforms like that, right? Literally. And you have that ability. All of us have that ability. So we're excited about this. We're excited that you can begin to be aware that you are awakening. You're aware of your thoughts. You're aware of your emotions. You're aware that you can transform the energy of emotions from one state of expression into another. And then you start, that's what we call an eye opener. In our realm, we call that an eye opener. When your eye is open, when your eye is single, your whole body shall be filled with light. And as you become aware and learn to transform your thoughts, and you learn to transform the energies that you're working with in that physical form that you're in right now, as you learn to transform this, you are literally bringing your light forth. You're becoming the maker of worlds. You get to make your world brand new. Be renewed in the renewing of your mind, right? Thank you. Let's see, questions on this. Wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. Magical Buddha is asking, William, when fear comes to you, does it mean an aspect of my reality needs closer attention and nurturing, or is it a sign to completely stop and go to the other way? Pardon me for being so dualistic. There's no dualism there at all. Again, most people try to deal with what they're feeling inside. They try to associate it to something that's happened out there. They think that something's out there has caused them. And in the past, maybe something did. Somebody may have hit you or you broke your arm or leg, and that past experience has that emotion. But in reality, it's right now. So you want to be able to get to the place where you're literally just working on the internal emotion, transforming the energy within you, because the outside events in your life right now are directly connected to all of the emotional shades that you have stored in your body and mind. The thoughts and the emotions are a perfect match for everything that's happening in the world around you. So you want to work on changing it within and observing it changing without, because that's the real, and that's the fifth step. When you suddenly realize, as I'm changing this, I see changes in the world around me. You see changes in the world around you. That's the fifth step. That's when you know you are now, I am that I am. I am that I am. Moses called that aspect of his awareness the burning bush. When he realized, oh, this is me. I am the light. I am the way. I am the truth. When he realized that, as Master Jesus did as well, then he could begin to create and manifest his mission as they did on this physical dimension, and as they are doing at this time in human collective unconsciousness as well. So it's not dualistic at all, but always work from in here. Will you have to deal with things going on out there? Yes. But if you're dealing with them from in here, they'll show up out there as you are in here. For example, today for the first 30 minutes, I didn't even know that I wasn't live, because from my end, it looks like I'm live. There was, when I realized that that wasn't the case, there was no anxiety, there was no frustration, there was no uncertainty, there was no feeling of disappointment. None of that happened. None of that happened. And they walk me through all kinds of tests like that. And you get that. You get tests with the opportunity to demonstrate, am I the master of my thoughts? Am I still the master of my house? And hopefully for you, the answer is becoming yes, because you are not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. You are the I, the soul, the awareness, the individual, the spark of the infinite intelligence here to manifest yourself through that physical form. And that's very exciting. Wow. Kira is asking, is it necessary to have Kundalini awakening in order to connect with spiritual beings? Kira, that's a great question. And what we would like to say to you is that there is an organ in your body. You call it the pineal gland. And it is just another organ that you can use while you are in this physical dimension to open up those senses that would allow you to communicate with us directly yourself. So you wish to, when you speak of the Kundalini, we would simply say you are learning to activate your communications array, which is called your pineal gland, which will allow you to hear and see and feel and know our presence with you all the time. As we speak these words to you right now, and you feel the flow of that energy coming in your body from the vibration that we're transmitting to you, then you can know that you are too activating this as well. For you could not feel the sensation of our presence if you were not activating that gland in your consciousness. And there are simple ways you can learn to activate that gland, but this is not the process we are engaging you in today. We are engaging you in understanding first that you are awake and that you are awake enough. And you can awaken even further when you begin to stimulate that pineal gland. You can then begin to see the other dimensions upon which we reside. Right. Yes. And we do this. Like we do this in our coaching class. We actually walk you through a process for learning to activate your pineal gland. And it's mind blowing when you can start to learn to use that organ. We've learned to use our eyes. We've learned to use our ears. We've learned to use our sense of touch and taste and feel. But we have not learned to activate that organ, which is like a cosmic antenna. Your pineal gland allows you to go through multiple dimensions. When you know how to activate the electrical energy from within it, it will alter the brain chemistry significantly, and you'll begin to produce an opening of the other faculties, the other clairs, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. You begin to open those up when you start working with the pineal gland, and you can open them faster or slower. But again, you want to not get into these other dimensions until you've got your mind and body under your dominion, till it's trained to be your servant, not your master. We've unfortunately run into a lot of people who get caught up in this suffering because they have not prepared the house, and so they end up inviting guests in that you don't want to invite. You must clean your house first. You must get your mind and your body in alignment with that which is your highest aspiration, so that that's what you will bring in. Because you can call anybody on the phone, you can dial numbers at random, and you don't know who you're going to get. But if you're very clear on the number you're dialing, you'll always know who you're getting. I'm going to paraphrase that to mean when you understand that cultivating a vibration of love will determine exactly who and what you're going to connect with. Just as if you're in a vibration of fear, it will organize who you're going to communicate and connect with. So learning to alter and master the emotional flow through a conscious and deliberate process of intentional transformation, you can liberate yourself literally into these other dimensions and not ever worry about connecting to dark entities or any of that stuff. You don't ever have to have that as an issue when your vibration is a certain frequency. You can't. It's like if you're listening to Radio 7 105.3, you're not going to hear 101.2. You won't, because you're not tuned into it. So aligning your awareness and your consciousness to a vibration of love is something only you can do consciously, as we've outlined in this process of knowing how to recognize that you are awake. When you know that process and you honor it regularly, you'll begin to organize and structure your energy in such a fashion that you retune your whole system to only receive very specific guests into your house. Thank you for that question. Really appreciate that. Manifestation. Yes, absolutely. Whatever dominant reflection, whatever dominant, this is true for all of us on all levels. They say this on all levels, for all beings on all levels. The dominant energy with which you align yourself determines the consistency and the intensity of the experiences that you're having at any given moment of your experience of what you call time and space, which what we would call our space, our condition of being. So yes, you want to recognize it's the dominant, the bliss. If you allow that bliss to be present, be mindful of how it shows up around you. Recognize when you start to see its manifestation, because you cannot have an emotion in this physical dimension without it having an effect in material time space. Lori's asking, thank you for that $11.11 donation, 11.11. I love that. Lori, I really appreciate that. May I have a message from my guides, please? Wow. Let's see what we can get here, Lori. I don't know why, but they're saying, the first thing they're saying is, and I don't know, there's 3 or 4 of them. One is very male. There's a character, it presents very similar to this character from, and got a really bright white light shining out his third eye. And the message is, do not look behind anymore. Do not look behind anymore. It will serve you in no way. Be present. You keep saying you got one hand behind you while you're trying to go forward. Let go of what is behind you. He's very stressing. Yeah, he's putting a lot of emphasis on that. A lot of emphasis on letting go of what is behind you. Again, I don't know what that relates to or specifically. And he says, yes, this will open up for you. This will open for you when you are not looking behind. Anything else? They're saying something about a child that needs you right now. There's a child that needs you right now. Is it her child or somebody else's child? They're just saying a child. They're not far from you, but they need you. Again, I don't know what that means, but that's be interesting. And whatever you get from that, when you connect with that child, please share your experience in the comment section when we're on the next live. Let people know what your experience is when you receive messages from your guides and your angels. It's really important. There's a female one here, and she's saying it's very important that you can now connect to us directly. If you have listened carefully to what is heard today, you can also connect to us. You can also connect to us more deliberately and consciously as you are through this one, so too you can, as if we were with you, and we are. Thank you. I appreciate that, Lori. And it is really true. Yes, Trish, that happens a lot. Questions, people go to ask questions that are already answered. Sorry, I'm just going to scroll back up here. Scott, would you give any messages from her to me, please? Yes, in a moment. Patricia, there is actually, I know binaural beats are great for the pineal gland, but there's a very specific way you can actually deliberately and intentionally activate the pineal gland and physically activate it. Like you can open and close your hand, you can activate your pineal gland to physically become active. So that because it's crystalline nature and it's piezoelectric in nature. When you apply any pressure to the pineal gland, it intensifies the electrical charge that's broadcast out and received in. So you want to explore ways of activating your pineal gland viscerally, like you can open and close your hand. You want to get it to physically become active. I hear that Mary is with me. Would you give any messages from her? Wow, I don't often get people to ask me to give messages from Mary. She's very very endearing. Her love is just like, it's love that goes straight through me from the middle of my back and just comes through like this. Message for her. I don't know what she's saying. She's saying you need to be softer of speech. Be softer of speech and slower of movement. be more mindful that I am with you. Yes. Okay. So yeah, she's saying that if you want to be physically a little slower, more present. I'm paraphrasing what she said. You want to be physically more present and slower and quieter of speech, so that you can be more aware of her presence around you. She says you try too hard. She says you try too hard to see and hear her, rather than just allowing yourself to be aware of her presence. She's saying, I am with you now. As this one is described, you can feel me at your back, and you can feel me through you. Yes. Slower of speech and slower of movement. I think you'll find there's a level of awareness that will unpackage from that. Really cool. Thank you for that question. Because when you ask a question like that, there's somebody out there that will resonate with that as well. Hi, Robin. Thank you for that $5. I really, really appreciate it. I was shown at the top of a mountain by an Indian guide who said he was sharp-eyed. Was this Metatron? And why did he show me thousands of people? Wow. Again, I'm not getting Metatron at all. I actually get an ancient yogi, that you've actually done this before. You actually worked with thousands before. This is not one. This is an aspect of what you were once in another form. This is an aspect of what you were once in another form, where you taught many thousands. You taught many thousands. You taught many thousands. Yeah. Again, this is an aspect of yourself. It's an ancient yogi aspect of yourself, and you did teach thousands. You did have a place in a mountain, but you came down to teach many. That they're saying now you are seeking to liberate yourself of this world. And again, I don't know what that means or why. What do you mean by that? To release. You are here to release those chains now. This will activate that which you are again, to work with many others if you so choose, but it is not necessary. Interesting. I hope that helps, Robin. Let us know what that resonates with for you, or what that means. Love doggies. Why am I struggling? I highly recommend that you go over this live after it's posted on my channel as a video. Your struggle is not who you are. Your struggle is that which is going on in your mind and your body. And you have forgotten that you are not the mind and you are not your body. And what we would have to say to you is to cease fighting it and be willing to extend your love and gratitude to that part of yourself which struggles. That you choose to identify with that struggle is where you find yourself confused. But if you recognize the struggle is simply a part of yourself that needs you to extend your love and grace to it, you will find that struggle of energy will dissipate very quickly. The struggle is only necessary until you realize that it's not who you are. And thank you for the $2 donation, Love Doggies. I really appreciate that. You're welcome, Lori. Yeah. Well, no, they're saying it'll come to you. This is an actual child in this dimension that's coming to you that needs your help. I don't know how or when or what this is going to look like, but they're very clear. This is a physical child that you're going to be connecting with that will need your help. Is the gift of mediumship meant to be primarily for the service to the world and society, or is it primarily for the exploration of your own self, or in the end, is it both? they always teach me it's never an either or, it's always an and, this and this and this and this. Uh, the gift of mediumship is not something that's a special gift for anybody. It's something that we all have within us to be and do and know. We are not separate. We are infinite intelligence connected to infinite intelligence in infinite points of time, space, and being. Therefore, we can connect to any being through one form or another. But it is a choice that you must activate in one point or another. You must choose to be open to allowing that expression to exist in this time space as you find yourself in. You are not certainly restricted in having that here or elsewhere. But once you know that your eye is open, once you know that you are able to restructure and reorganize this matter into the expression that manifests that which you are more effectively, then you'll understand more precisely what we mean, that you are not restricted to any point in time and space, and that you are that which you are seeking. You are the medium, and we are all with you. You are not separate. Hi, Earth Angel. We've run over a little bit, but I think I'm running. Yes, they're telling me we're running over because the first edition of the live didn't even broadcast for 34 minutes. They were talking to you guys and transmitting all these vibes to you guys. It was amazing, and so we've run a little bit late. We're gonna lock this down in a minute or two. Earth Angel is asking, I'm told by older, more experienced people that often working with different energies can cause ill health. I don't feel this, but would love clarification. Again, if you understand that the energies are simply an extension of source consciousness, that you as an awareness are able to alter and change these energies with will. But we think that what you're referring to are lower vibrational energies within the realm of other beings that you deal with. What you need to learn to do, though, is transform those vibrational energies that are within you that are producing those experiences around you. When you change those vibrational energies internally, and we've already outlined the process for that simple transformation in a single statement, no matter what I've thought or felt or believed about you, I'm willing to love you, even if I don't understand you. That statement is very profound in its intensity and meaning. And if you apply that to any negative energies, you will find them transforming. And again, as we explained earlier, the degree and intensity of that transformation depends upon how much you're working with. But the intensity, you can increase the intensity of what you give in love and change the temperature of this water very quickly. Thank you. Great question. Thank you. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the class in October. Yeah, so we'll do that now too. Lysandra, it's not a dream, Lysandra. Master Jesus works very strongly with you. He's coming into me right now, and I can feel the heat of his being. And the fact that you would speak his name at this time opens you up to experiencing his consciousness as a vibration. So don't be surprised if you suddenly feel a sudden uptick in your like physical heat around your body right now. That's Master Jesus connecting with you. And he says, if you want to just be present with that energy, allow that to be that which actualizes you into the recognition that you are that which I am. Right. You're welcome, Earth Angel. You're very welcome. I am the universe, Christy. And I want to thank everybody. Yes. So listen, if you want to really learn to connect your divine team and your angels, we all have this. This is not something special to any one person. Everyone can do this. That you just have to develop the primary skills to enable it. So if you want to learn how to do that, come to our courses and classes in September. We have 3 courses: a beginner's level, an intermediate level, and an advanced level that starts September the 5th. You can go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and register for the courses and classes right now. Don't delay. Like, these courses are life-changing. We have students, and you'll see testimonials on the website. We have students whose lives have been completely transformed and changed as a result of connecting with their guides and angels, and the information, the processes, the vibrations, the energy that are communicated to all of us during those courses and class. And I invite you to take action and get involved. And we'll see you in September for those of you. And we'll look forward to seeing Tanya there. And we've already got a few other people signed up as well. I think we're going to do the... Oh, wonderful, Janine. We'll see you. Thank you so much. That means a lot to us. Like I said, from me, from a three-dimensional perspective as William, it means more to William. For me as a soul, I'm just grateful to be of service, and I always will be. And they're always grateful to be of service. They don't require the creature comforts that we do because they know how to alter, change, and transform energy to suit them at any point in time and space, or non-time and space. But I want to thank all of you for your support. It means a lot. It's important to know that what you do has meaning and value in the world, and that you recognize your own meaning, that you recognize your own value, and that you learn how to translate that value into the expression that you came here to manifest as a sentient being. So I want to say thank you to everybody for taking the time to come out today and being patient with the technical transition today. Remember, go over this video. That statement, if you didn't write it down, we'll say it again one more time. No matter what I've thought or felt or believed about you, I'm willing to love you, even if I do not understand you. And if you direct that energy towards any negative emotional state inside you, you'll begin to transform it. That is when your eye is open. You are awake and aware. When your eye is open, I am open. You can change your thoughts. You can change your emotions. You can change your energy. Then you can change the world. Then you are changing the world. Change your world, change yourself. Much love to everybody. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Who knows what they'll bring us then, but I'm very grateful. And we'll see you tomorrow. Much love. Bye for now.